Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like it if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize on iHeartRadio. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow us on the Big Three at The Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're actually going to get a lot more active on those pages really soon. I guess really if you're listening to this show, it's Monday, so we're really starting back today.
Yeah.
Just getting caught up, getting everything back in motion. So thank you to the ear hustlers who have been locked in through the B page.
Yep, we appreciate you.
That's where a majority of the updates have been, so we appreciate you guys for that one. Kev, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Just coasting in this thing called life.
Yes, sir.
You know,
That's all we can do.
One day at a time for your boy, but I'm good. About yourself?
I'm okay. I'm better now.
Okay, good.
Actually.
Good.
I think one thing I need to do, and today is a prime example why, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go into it as well, but I need to take like a hiatus from social media.
Yeah.
Like I need to just do what I need to do for Beat and for the Noize and just kind of filter away from that. So for any birthdays or anything like that I'm going to miss, I do apologize. It's a lot of y'all niggas for birthdays to remember. Pretty sure some of y'all don't remember mine. But it's a lot of, it's a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
That's really not helping, my situation in a sense.
And not only that, though, when you constantly are on social media, it kind of distorts reality in a sense, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's funny you say that because the other day, yesterday actually, I took a walk. This was yesterday evening, and I did not have my phone on me. No music, no nothing. I just walked and just
me and my thoughts.
Paid attention to what was around. So it does help.
Like today's actually been a very interesting up and down day. We're recording this on a Sunday, so we do apologize for the day delay. But I don't know, man. When you interact with people who only remember you from a certain way. I had one of those interactions today, and it's crazy because
you ain't that same person.
I'm not that person. Right. I'm nowhere near that person.
Right.
But people that I came up with have a bookmark on the person that I was, and it's almost like you're really not allowed to grow. Right.
It's funny you say that part because I see stuff where somebody can make a mistake or they are a certain way, and then they do move past it and they grow. Another person still try to hold them to what they were. Like that's not the right thing to do. How can anybody ever grow if we're only going to be held to that particular standard? Like
there are definitely some things that are unforgivable. There are certain things that will stick with you only because they are unforgivable. When you look at all these rape situations, all the Me Too movement. Those kind of things are unforgivable. Even if you are in a different place, at the end of the day, the action happened and somebody was affected by it. With some of the shit that I did back in my shitless days, it's kind of like if it was that much of an effect.
Yeah, I know you ain't raped nobody, so
no, it ain't nowhere near in that aspect. Never put my hands on a female, none of that. But it's just like if you were bothered that much by it, what's keeping you as my people? You know what I mean?
What you mean? I don't.
Like, it's like we talked about it before. There are certain people that can speak just all kinds of light about us, and there are people that can speak, very dark about us.
Right.
And we can admit to, some of those dark times being true. But if you're around from then till now, but you're still holding me to who I was then, it's kind of like, why should I keep having this, I want to be good with all my people mentality towards you when you're not going to see me as a different person?
Not only that shows growth on the other person. Like you're just holding this person to a standard. Did you grow at all? You know what I mean? And if you did, then you have to understand that there is growth. People grow. Like, why would you hold somebody else if you grew?
Exactly. Like I look at situations with you and I. If like you and me, we're tight. When you need something, I'm normally one of the first niggas that call you.
Right.
But when I know it's something that I just absolutely cannot help with, you don't have an expectation for me to jump on and be like,
exactly.
This, I really do need this from you now that you're not around, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And it's like, because we have an understanding of who we are and that we're constantly growing. There are people that, if that same scenario was to be introduced, it's like, this is how you've always been, Los. And it's like, nah. you called me in a really bad place, and understand I'm trying to go to a different place. And I'm saying all that to say, because I did put something up today. I got caught in one of those emotional slip-ups.
I didn't see it, so.
Because it came and went. I mean, I posted just basically saying, like, you know, I'm constantly evolving, constantly trying to become a better man in a world that, you know, ultimately tells me I'm wrong every day.
The world that's against us every day. Right?
Every day.
Yeah.
You know, so if I have kind of, you know, fucked with you in some way, shape, or form, you know, charges to my head, not to my heart. And for those that, you know, your patience with me is already gone and it's been gone, then I can understand whatever, you know, however you move going forward.
True.
You know, after having several conversations, it just really brought it back home for me that I'm putting too much on trying to be that perfect friend, to where if you just don't want to necessarily, you know, be in the circle, be in the conversation pool, you don't have to be.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I always tell myself. Like, I'll never struggle with trying to be somebody's friend or be your friend how you think I should be a friend. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be me and just let it happen naturally. Like, if you don't like me, you're just not going to like me for who I am, not because I'm not a friend, or not because I'm not the type of friend you see me as. You know what I mean? Like, some people, they feel like friends should just be there to help them when they need it. Like, if you expect that from me, then you're not a good friend, but B, that's not who I'm going to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be the best friend to you that I can be on all facets, but don't expect me just to don't expect me to love you a certain way, and when I don't love you a certain way, you have an issue. Right. That doesn't change the fact that I still love you. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
I'm right there with you. And, you know, it took me some time to get there, but I'm right there with you. Now, I know there's a lot of shit about myself I still need to, you know, evolve on, but comparing the person I am today to who I was 2, 3, 4 years ago, you know, it's apples to oranges.
Right. You're a better person.
Exactly. So I'm just trying to continue to grow. And that's, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I kind of got to stay off social media. Yeah. Like, you see so many people saying so many things about a group that you fall into. And it's like, not really that guy.
Right. I don't fit on these guys no more.
But you realize you're going to fight that element no matter what, because so many people are used to those kind of people. So it's just one of the things I got to just try to rid myself of as much negativity as I can in such a negative world.
Oh, man, yeah. You're hitting it right on the head with that. One thing that I have learned with all that, though, is just learning more about myself. The more I become comfortable with myself, I can give a fuck with how another person feels, because I'm comfortable within myself. So I think as you start to do that, you'll really start to see, like, yeah, I ain't moving this way. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me. And if you feel that is me, shame on you. I feel bad for you.
And another thing that's really changing, man, is speaking life. Like, we talk about it all the time, but I can say that, you know, I was a hypocritical advice giver. You know, I would, you know, kind of stick to something negative. But when you really speak life and you take advantage of, you know, the good that's going on, and you're thankful for the good that's going on, it just changes the situation. Like, the other day, I just woke up just happy. Yeah. Like, nothing really, you know, happened or anything like that. I was just like, I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place, and I just want to rock with that. Basically.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I've woken up before and just been happy and end up not even doing nothing that day, but you're happy. So, yeah, I get that. I get that. Have you made any personal adjustments that you think may have contributed to this? Now, I don't want to say this newfound bliss, but working towards being completely happy. Have you changed anything in your daily routine?
Just trying to, like I said, just trying to speak positive, speak light, and when good things come, just, you know, sit with them. Don't look at it as something negative is going to always, you know, follow up, or something's going to kind of take away that joy. That's one thing I'm like super bad for, because I really, you know, and I'm going to speak to it past tense as if it wasn't something that was recent. But I used to dread when good things would happen, because it used to be this real bad follow-up. Like, when something good happens, something immediate, like, how did I used to put it? When some short-term good happens, it's immediately followed up by a long-term bad.
Right. I remember you talking to me about that, so it's good to hear that you're kind of staying away from that.
Right.
That's really good here because I remember you saying that, and obviously I'm not you, so I don't know the full extent. But when I would hear it, I'd be like, "Nah, it gotta be some good happening and something." You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get to that place. But today was also a very happy day. I know not for many, but I mean, other than the other part. Being able to see the Beat fam today, that was dope.
Yeah, that was dope. I haven't seen everybody in a while together like that.
Exactly,
so it was definitely cool.
And it was the natural camaraderie once we all got together too. Yeah. So I was happy about that. Being that we're recording this on a Sunday, social media has been blowing the fuck up with this LeBron news.
It has.
And I at first, we talked about it, we was like, we're probably not gonna speak about it. We're gonna wait till things kind of get a little more official, and then we started seeing the big networks break it. And personally, I'm pretty sure the ear hustlers, they know who we root for. You being a Cavs fan, me being a Lakers fan. This is something that it's a conversation that's gonna be really hard to dodge.
Right.
Even and shit, I could even see Beat Network mutiny with Dwayne calling us out like, so how y'all feel about it? And not talking about it. So I don't know. I'm gonna let you probably have more to say, so I should probably go first now.
Nah, I mean, I think real basketball fans had to know LeBron wasn't going to stay. It would have to be something drastic to happen in order for him to stay. Doesn't change the fact that, of course, the best player in the world, yeah, you want him on your team. But I understand why he would be leaving. I don't have an issue with it. I just don't like the hypocrisy.
Right.
You know what I mean? A couple of weeks ago, at the beginning of June, after the finals, they was talking about this man because he's 3-6 in the finals. Now all of a sudden everybody wants him on your team. You know what I mean? And then I'm watching, and granted it is some Laker fans, which makes me question their basketball knowledge because they're like, oh, we about to get in there, we about to win. And to be completely honest, as of right now, it's the old Laker team that had last season and LeBron, right? As of right now, that team loses in the second round.
As of right now, I'd be thoroughly shocked if they made it to the playoffs. Still,
well, I think they'll make it to play because you do have Braun, but you, and not only that though, you're in the West. Everybody's in the West.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's a much harder division. Like if there's officially no competition in the East, all like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, outside of Boston, nobody's competing with Boston. Boston might as well be a shoo-in to go to the finals this upcoming season. It's so much harder in the West. This is why me and you were talking about. It has to be something else going on.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense on the Lakers' part, but it doesn't make any sense on LeBron's part.
When you look at all parties involved, it does make the most sense on the Lakers' part. And when it comes down to LeBron, it's still too many questions. Now, first of all, let me say as a Lakers fan, I'm happy.
Right,
I'm
as
happy
you should
because this is something that we've been pushing for. That's why we wanted Chris Paul, so we could be like, okay, cool, we got a superstar. Let's try to bring some more over now. Because when we started the conversations 2 years ago, I'm like, no one wanted to be the first dude to make the jump to the Lakers.
Right,
you know
I remember
you
saying that.
And now that we have the dude to make the jump, everybody wants to play with LeBron, no matter how they feel about it. You either want to play for LeBron or you want to play for the Golden State Warriors. That's just what it is. So again, I'm happy. I'm just not really on to the shit talking just yet because of what you just mentioned. There's a lot of hypocrites and bandwagoners. And that's been a Laker issue from jump. When we win, everyone wants to be a Laker fan. But when we got Byron Scott, it was like, and everybody that followed was like, now all of a sudden, Golden State Warriors got crazy ass fan base. The Clippers had a crazy ass fan base.
Right, that first couple of years, yeah.
So it's like now that these bandwagoners kind of like coming back, it's saturating the joy that we can get from it because there has to be some unspoken pieces about what's coming in with the Lakers because you don't go. And I just posted on social media, and it's no shot at the Cavs. I'm from Cleveland. I love the city. I love to see the city when they got the championship. But you're not going from a finals swept team to a team that literally hasn't seen the playoffs in the last 3 to 4 years,
and definitely is not going to sniff anywhere close to the finals this year.
You know what I'm saying? This year, exactly. And shit, when LeBron went back to Cleveland, it had some great pieces y'all didn't win in the first year. So why would the expectation from, quote, realistic Laker fans, B, we're getting the chip as soon as he comes back in.
That's because that lets me know that they're not who they say they are. Like, to be completely honest, the Lakers right now aren't even in the top 3 team in the West. Like right now, even with LeBron there, OKC can beat the shit out of the Lakers right now with this team. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I feel like, granted, they have a lot going for them. It's LA. Who don't want to be in LA? Like, it's LA. That's going for them. You got the best player in the league there. Like you said, the hypocrisy is so bad. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing teams, y'all back then, y'all want this 3 and 6 guy. He ain't the best player. KD better. Now it's everybody, we got LeBron, we're doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Everybody happy and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to be happy. Who wouldn't be? But be realistic about it. You know what I mean? And even if you're not going to be realistic, speak truth to the matter.
Right.
Truth to the matter is a good portion of Laker fans last year couldn't stand LeBron. Now everybody's fans and one on the team.
And that's what pisses me off, because we don't know who were the ones that were speaking like that. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an unfortunate situation. With Cavs fans, you knew who came aboard as Cavs fans.
Absolutely.
When LeBron
came
because
I'm seeing it now. It's people on my timeline now. Guess I'm getting electric.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know who it is. Lakers, it's been like that for years. And we had the conversation on the show. We have high times and we have low times. And we have high times and we have low times. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? So you can't really tell which ones were like legit Laker fans or cats that were just, that were cheering for the Lakers when it was cool to cheer because Kobe was there or whatever the case is. So it sucks, and it makes it really hard to really come out and just be super happy because, somebody's going to jump in like, oh, you just getting on board. Like, damn, now I got to show you pictures of me with braids at the Laker parade. Like, God damn, like, what do you want from me?
Yeah. That's very, that's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. This move to me just didn't make no sense on his part. You took unless something else has to be going on, because as of right now it stands, you took less money because there was other teams that were better that could have gave
less
you a
money
little bit
and a
more
lesser
money.
Team.
That wasn't the Cavs. Like the Cavs, yes, they could have offered him the Supermax, but it was other teams like Philly, like Boston, anywhere, Spurs, that could have offered him more money than what he got right now. So it's really weird. And then, like I said, you're going to the West, like it ain't gonna be. It may not be no. You winning another ring in the West at all. It's too stacked there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna see probably some of the greatest basketball we've seen played out of LeBron throughout the active season.
He's gonna have to. I think it'd be dope. Like I said, we can pretty much put Boston into the finals, where it would be absolutely crazy, and some weird freakishly shit would have to happen. But it'd be crazy if LeBron and Kyrie are back in the finals playing for rival teams. That'd be kind of dope to see.
And that's good money for the NBA at that, because now we're getting Lakers Celtics again.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. But again, right now I'm holding back on my Lakers shit talking that I haven't done in so long, because right now it doesn't make sense. Less money, lesser talented team. The only benefit of this is that your kid's going to go to better schools and you're going to, be in your nice ass house in LA. That's the only benefit I see right now. But Magic is not stupid.
No,
and he's been
not.
showing you that he's not stupid.
Yeah, he's not stupid at all.
There's something lined up that we don't know about, that the first story to come out of all Laker signings is LeBron.
Yeah.
There's something there that we're
it has
not
to be.
seeing.
Yeah, it has to be something there. It has to be.
There are some crazy pieces that we're going to see. But even then, and this is just speaking as a true basketball fan, what we've learned over this last 12 times y'all and Golden State played each other, you can have a fire-ass starting five. If your bench can't follow suit, you have no team. Because eventually you have to sit these stars down. You have to sit these premier athletes down. If your bench can't hold that shit up, you're going to go from a 20-point lead to being up by 3 going into the half.
And that's if you up, especially when playing against the Warriors. And what's crazy is, yes, these other teams not named the Warriors are trying to get better, but that doesn't change the fact so are the Warriors. We talked about some of their center lineups they can have. Like, this could really be a stacked team. You know what I mean? The way I feel about it in a nutshell was the same way I expressed to you and Dwayne earlier is, that's Kobe's house. Right. You know what I mean? Just like the Bulls, that's Jordan's house. Me personally, I wouldn't want to go to at minimum those two teams. I can go anywhere else, but those two, they're solidified. Like Kobe is on the hoops route, Mount Rushmore, and so is Jordan. LeBron is too, in my opinion, but you don't touch those areas. He could have went anywhere. You know what I mean? You just don't touch those areas. Me personally, if it was me, if they were making a deal and trying to get better, I'd go to New York. Don't get me wrong, LeBron is a megastar, but just imagine how much just imagine his stardom being propelled further had he went to New York and be successful.
But again, that really ties into the pieces that we don't see with him.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be pieces.
He would be a megastar in New York, but something about what he's doing right now, and call me crazy. I know people are going to call me crazy. They're going to call me an average Laker fan. I don't give a fuck. But with this move, there's something legendary on the horizon.
It has to be.
It has to be. Because, again, you don't struggle to go to a struggle.
Exactly.
Nobody does that.
Exactly.
And you look at the Lakers rosters, we probably have one of the most trash rosters.
And I seen y'all just re-sign that Caldwell Pope kid, the kid that y'all hated. That's what I'm saying. Y'all re-signing him.
So it's like you look at the roster, it just doesn't make sense right now, but there is some super plan that's on the horizon that we're going to see some kind of resurgence of the Lakers, of the purple and gold.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And I think LeBron is going for that legend look. I don't think he's going to leave LA at this point, because at this point, if he leaves LA, you've already shown you'll take a pay cut before.
It's just a 4-year deal. When he's done, he'll be 37.
He'll be done, right.
So yeah, he might retire.
But come on, man. If they wanted to trade LeBron and somebody was going to pay that money, they'll pay that money.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened. This particular thing is just so funny to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Bron fan. I'm a Cavs fan. Granted, yes, it's great to have LeBron play for my franchise team, but I have no dog in this race.
Right.
Like, I don't, you know what I mean? And the way I look at it, if we want to get to the nitty-gritty, at the end of the day, at the end of the next season, we both going to be sitting on the couch, Lakers and Cavs.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Watching the game myself, and I'm the exact same way. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I've never had anything negative to say about LeBron, but as a Lakers fan, I'm happy to have the greatest player.
Right, and that's what pisses me off. It's cool to be happy, but that's what pisses me off about a lot of people. I've seen so much slander of this man, especially from Laker fans. And now that he's going to be on the Lakers, it's like that shit didn't happen. Like, come on, bro. Be stand up. Keep that same energy.
No, I am seeing some people keeping that energy though. I've seen some
Laker fans that they didn't want LeBron.
Right.
They were fine with their young core. They didn't want to do nothing, and I respect that. But for the ones that were on the flip side, come on, man, keep that same energy.
Hey man, you want to see them W's? That's the only thing.
I guess so.
Like with me being a Lakers fan, and I was very vocal about it. Anybody could pull the records of it. I was ready for Kobe to go. Like nobody was more pissed off than me that Kobe got $84 million and gave us 3 games.
And then on top, it has to be something going on, because look at LeBron's style of play. He keeps shooters around him, holds the ball till there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Then want to pass him. I don't really, unless there has to be something else going on, because I don't see how that's working in LA.
Right.
Not only are the players that are there not designed to play that way, but I don't know, man. It's just weird. And it's something you said in the car, like he gonna look at Luke and be like, "This is my team."
I bust your ass up many a times before you retire.
Hey, at least we got Kevin Love. I'm happy about that. I wanted Kevin Love from the jump. We got him, so I'm cool.
And that's one thing we were talking about too. I
like this rookie.
I'm saying y'all got a solid pick, and then y'all got some smart people in the office. Like, and that's one thing that's kind of pissing me off about some Cavs fans, because if the nigga that writes your check, if y'all ain't seeing square, if y'all ain't seeing eye to eye, you're not gonna stay at that place.
You're right. I can't wait for Dan Gilbert to go. Like he is the reason. Honestly, he's the reason LeBron didn't stay for the Clippers his entire time. LeBron could have just been a 1-year team with the Cavs, but because of Dan Gilbert, I seen little rumors talking about he kind of hopes LeBron will leave so he can get his team back. Man, Get the fuck up out of here. You're an egotistical bastard. Get the fuck out of here. What kind of shit is
that? Like, you're not, you ain't touched near a ball for any finals appearance we've been in type shit. So, and it kills me, because there's a lot of, Cavs fans who are like, and you came out one of them online burning his jersey again and talking big shit about, like, man, y'all still gonna be this, that, and the third. Like, bro, he brought a chip to the city.
You wasn't really no Cavs fan if you're doing that. He did, even though it took longer than what probably he anticipated. He brung a team, a ring to the city. And then on top of that, you can't expect this man to stay with the pieces that's been put around him. Like, nobody showed up this finals.
Right.
After game 1, people checked out. Like you want the best player in the world to go through that again. Like, LeBron, go get your money, go do your thing. Unfortunately, I can't lie. Not growing up as a Laker fan, yes, like damn the Lakers, but at the same time, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I ain't tripping about it.
You ain't just going to just damn the Lakers, my team like that though. Like,
Yes, I am.
No.
Yes, I am. And it's not even damn the Lakers as an organization team. It's more or less the fans. I don't want to hear the fans, man. Not all of them, but I don't want to hear the fans' mouth because on top of them just being, some of them being obnoxious and arrogant, now obnoxious, arrogant, and you're a hypocrite. Like, yeah, throw the whole fan base away.
Well, since you know I'm a real fan, I hope to enjoy the next 4 years with you, brother. We'll see where this show go.
Right.
Now, what does the rest of the free agency look like? Like, who's still on the board?
I don't know. It's still some pieces on the board.
Well, it's hella pieces on the board,
There's
but
still some pieces on the board.
to create newsworthy conversation.
I think maybe DeMarcus Cousins. I think Anthony Davis is probably going to stay in NOLA. It wouldn't make no sense for him not to. I mean, it does. Yeah, he can go to other teams, but I think he's loyal to that organization. But I don't think
you don't really hear too many scuffles between him and management.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think that's it. The best part is we get to see. Like yesterday, boy, it was like candy in the candy shop right now, seeing all these different things happen. I still believe Chris Paul was the biggest winner out of so far.
Absolutely. Hey, can you explain to them why, please?
The reason being is Chris Paul is 33, 34, going on 34, whatever the case is. By the time he gets done with his contract, he'll be 37, 38. Right.
About to retire.
Right. I don't think people realize to be at that age and to sign a 4-year, $160 million deal, that means when you're old, let's say Chris Paul becomes old and washed up at 36. For the remainder of his contract, he's still got to pay him his money.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I think that's a great deal. And then on top of that, the Rockets were actually him being injured away from going to the finals.
Definitely.
I can honestly say that if Chris Paul wasn't injured, they probably could have went to the finals.
I could have seen that.
You know what I mean? So that's a good position for him. That's a great basketball move. I have no issue even with Paul George's move. On the basketball, on the money side, it wasn't smart. But on the basketball side, it's a smart move.
You think you're gonna keep? You think gonna keep Carmelo?
No, Melo getting the fuck up out of here. It makes no sense to keep Melo. If I'm OKC, I'm trying to do everything in my power to get rid of that man's contract.
We fucked up.
Yeah, get him the fuck up out of here. He didn't show up, and we paying him too much. Bye.
Another thing, I know. We said we're gonna stop trying to break it to that.
Do your thing,
but one thing that we talked about prior to getting on the show, when it actually happened, the video of Dame Dash G-checking Lee Daniels. Now, this one is interesting because people are coming at Dame like Dame was in the wrong. I'm gonna be real. This kind of tacks into the whole, being a straight black man with no opinion thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people were coming at him, as if he was, homophobic for
I didn't know
stepping
Lee Daniels was gay.
I don't know if he is, but that's been a lot of the conversation. Basically saying that it was a homophobic thing for him to just G-check him like that. I know niggas that will fight you because you owe them $20.
Exactly.
You owe me $2 million. You owe me two whole ass.
That's a different breed of money.
Right.
That's not your regular.
And then you actually owe me more than that because of the settlement.
Yeah.
Because what we did in court.
And not only that, though, I've watched you be successful. I've watched you make, more than $2 million. And you still ain't paid me.
Right.
That's like me and you going out. I owe you $200, but I hit you up and we going out, we going shopping. You're going to be looking at me like, hey, you might want to slide me that $200. Like
I'm gonna use that too.
You shirt shopping right now. You might want to get your shirts, but give me my 2 bills too. Right. So I personally have no problem with him doing what he did.
Now, what's confusing to me, outside of the calling the homophobic what he did, is just looking at the situation itself as fucked up. It wasn't like they were honoring Lee Daniels. It wasn't like, it was something that the attention was supposed to be on Lee Daniels. It was just prime opportunity.
Right.
Like, I guarantee you Dame Dash didn't have that opportunity to run into Lee Daniels throughout this time. I'm pretty sure, when the seating charts got made at these award shows, they were on different areas.
Didn't they say that Lee Daniels was like, oh, you couldn't call me or something like that?
He didn't say you couldn't call me. He kept trying to get Dame like, no, just call me. And Dame was like, no, I've been calling.
First of all, I've been calling you. Second of all, I'm here. Thirdly, it's $2 million. Or no.
Right.
No.
And it's weird that he was just kind of trying to just dismiss that, like, nah, just call me. Like, no.
I think maybe he was trying to dismiss it because of the setting.
I can understand why he would want to dismiss it, but to think that I'm this upset and I haven't seen you in years, and I'm finally catching up with you somewhere, and now you're like, no, just call me. Like, what do you think I've been doing since
Leaving
Precious dropped? What do you think I've been
all
doing? So all that extra conversation about how he did it was unprofessional, all this other stuff. That's $2 million. Like from a legit standpoint, as a man, if somebody owed you $200, I know you mentioned it in your example, but this is like on some real shit. If somebody owed you $200 and they flaked on you, you just letting that ride? Like, how was you supposed to handle that?
Exactly. It's funny you brought that up because I remember it's probably been about a year now. I remember I was playing on this adult league team and we got to pay like registration fees. You know what I mean? I was like $15 short, but I was going to give it to him the next game. So I gave him the 20 or whatever. And then he went a different direction with the team. To this date, this nigga owes me $20. And when I see him at Target, I'm telling him, yo, give me this $20. Now, would it be something,
my dub.
Right, would it be something I try to fight over or be overly hostile? No, but I'm going to definitely tell him, like, you owe me $20, my nigga, and I expect to get my $20 back.
You know what's funny that nobody talks about from that video, at least from the side of Dame was wrong? No one touched on the fact that Dame said you wrong. And he said, I am wrong. We saw him admit on camera, I am wrong.
And not only that, though, Dame said, why I got to come up here looking crazy? He was like, why I got to come up here looking crazy for asking for this? Like, I will ask you this, though. Do you think, is there another way Dame could have handled that?
There was no other way. Because if one, you're not answering the phone.
Right.
Two, I have to find you at a concert. Like, I had to know for a fact you were going to be in this place at this specific time, and you can't go anywhere. Or it was an honoring. Something.
No, it was a concert.
It was a concert?
It was a Legends concert, too. Like, it was a legend. I don't know why Diana Ross stuck in my head, but I know it probably wasn't her. But no, it was definitely a Legends concert. I had a question I was going to propose, but I completely spaced.
I honestly, like, why are you thinking about it? I think it's kind of fucked up that bit the shit out my cheek. Anyway, I think it's fucked up that as a celebrity, you're kind of forced to go about certain things a certain way or automatically push your character in question. Like, no one ever takes that time to remove the celebrity from it and look at it from a standpoint of how you react.
Yeah.
As a person, at the end of the day, that's $2 million real dollars.
Exactly. Now, that's my question. How much did Precious make?
Hella 0.9 million.
Right, like, dude, you had the money. Now, Lee Daniels did come out and say that he will give him the money, but in my opinion, when you're dealing with business, and not only that, you know how Dame is, obviously, because you got the money from him, it shouldn't have to take another grown man basically calling you out for this to happen. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't have the money right then and there or whatever, because I'm not in the business like that, I don't know, or whatever, something you couldn't give them to him up front, you can at least communicate, be like, bro, I got your money, I got to wait for this, or hey, I don't have all your money, here is this, how I do it. Yeah. But, and then on top of that, you promised this man that you were going to give him this money.
Right. Or so give him some kind of producer credit or something.
So the fact that you ain't got it from him yet, and this was years ago, I have an issue with that if I was Dame. I have a major issue with that.
I'd have the issue if I was anybody.
If I was anybody, I have the issue. But in the case, I would have an issue with that.
And I'm not the richest man in the world, but this is one of the reasons why, I don't ask people for shit. And if I give to somebody, I just give. Like, here, I'd much rather help with, whatever can get it done that's not financial. And if it is financial, I'm not necessarily giving it thinking I'm going to get it back. But I also have a cap with that.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was listening to the Breakfast Club interview. I forget who they were interviewing or what they were talking about, but Charlamagne kind of said the same things. He was like, I don't necessarily loan money because I probably am not going to get it back. If I give you money, it's because I care about you, I love you, and I'll tell you, just take it and go. Like, don't try to get it back because in the long run, you're going to end up in situations very similar to this one. It's just better to like you said, if you got a cap or however you do it, deal with the people that you, or give money to the people that you feel comfortable giving with. But you're right, like loaning it out, especially $2 million.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, and I think I actually heard him say this on his podcast with Charlamagne. He was like, when you're about to ask somebody for a significant amount of money, like what means the most to you, the money or the friendship?
Exactly.
And there are a lot of people who will choose, like, I got to get this situation taken care of because at the end of the day, it's about me.
Right.
You know, and it will fuck over an entire friendship over like a $50 borrow.
Burnt that bridge and
completely.
now you fucked up.
And, you know, I would never try to shit on somebody for, you know, being in need of something. I've been in that place before.
Right.
I've had a friend, shit, when I was in grad school and I got robbed for everything a nigga had and I wasn't working at the time.
Remember you told me that.
You know, the homie shot me 50. You know, she was just asking me what was going on. I told her the story, and then out of nowhere, I think this one, like, Cash App was like, just get, no, it wasn't even the Cash App, it was just Wells Fargo. You know, she sent me the Wells Fargo control number or whatever. She was like, nah, just get it back to me when you can get it back to me. You know, this was at the beginning of the school year. So I didn't get that back until like January.
Right. Damn near the middle of the school year.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I'm just like, yo, you know, one day I just hit her up with a control number with the amount and everything. I was like, oh, thank you. You know, whether they thought about it or not, at the end of the day, if somebody's looking out for you,
right,
the least you can do is keep your word.
Right.
I got told not to pay it back, but I was like, nah, I'm going to get this back to you no matter when or how I got to get it back to you. I'm going to get this back to you.
Right, and that's real. But not only does it, you take care of the situation that caused you to borrow the money or whatever has it. It also makes it to where this person now views you like, okay, that man's solid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he ain't have to give it back to me. I wasn't expecting to give it back, but he's solid. It shows some integrity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's dope.
Especially as men, that's the only thing you really have is your word. There's a lot of niggas that break their word for anybody, you know, just to get themselves over. Now, one thing, another thing I do want to talk about is what is so wrong with running up on somebody. I'm not talking about, you know, to fight them or anything like that, but what's so wrong with confronting somebody nowadays?
It's the sensitive era, man.
That don't make no damn sense.
It's the same. You can't talk to nobody without a pleasant tone. You can't show any type of actions that's not politically correct or pleasant. It's the era of the sensitive. So we're in the sensitive social media age.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you much rather me troll this dude into paying me? Like, that's not going to work.
And that's the killer part, because if it is trolling, people will be like, oh, he's just trolling. Like, they kind of brush it off. But if you're serious about, oh, he's being a bully, what's the difference?
Right. Then it immediately becomes some bullying shit.
What's the difference? Like, no, this is $2 million.
And you know what? The nail was hit with the bullying line. It's so, because bullying has become such a crazy thing. Now, don't get me wrong, bullying sucks. You know, kids, you know, kill themselves, grown adults kill themselves over this kind of shit. However, we're so protective over bullying that if somebody does something to you and you're ultimately kind of seeking your own justice, because no one's really fucking with you in the, you know, in the sense of trying to get it corrected, no one's really listening to you and hearing you out. Like, no, this dude's a piece of shit. I don't care what movie he made. I gave him $2 million and I got nothing back.
And he said
he could have made Passion of the Christ 2 what really happened.
Right.
I don't care what it was.
Not only did he not pay me back, this man agreed and said he would. Like this isn't hearsay.
Scratch all that. Scratch agreeing, saying that he would. Scratch the fact he didn't pay you back. You can clock the entire amount of money this man made off of one movie. We're not going to talk about the TV shows. We're not going to talk about production credits anywhere else. You can Google how much this man made. You could have easily just... If you can't see it, but just know that was sliding. You could have easily slid me just something like, here you go. And take that. Be happy. I appreciate you. Hell, I saw so much success. Here's some interest, just because you my people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't gonna be no big hit to his pocket. He was good, unless Lee Daniels got some financial issues that we don't know about.
But no, he came out and said he was gonna pay him. So I'm assuming he doesn't.
But just outside of that, like, what's so wrong with confronting people? Like, we talked about it on the show last week with Nipsey Hussle. How people were talking about, oh, he should have went to jail for slapping that security officer. Like, no. If you're taking your job so goddamn serious that you slap a cone out of my bodyguard's hand, I pay this man. You're not going to disrespect my employee. I know he's here to protect me, but he's still my employee. You're not going to disrespect him.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that it was something small. Like, I guess Nip just wanted to drive after he got done doing what he was doing. He wanted to drive off the lot, and the dude was like, no.
In a non-driving area, but it wasn't like he was driving onto the set of anything.
Right.
It was just coned off.
But why do you take your job that serious?
Why can't Nipsey Hussle drive through here?
You're getting... most you're probably getting, well, no, it's Cali, so who knows, but you ain't getting paid $20 an hour.
There's no way. Even if I'm getting paid $20 an hour. Like, if Nipsey Hussle want to drive through, let the nigga drive through.
Basically.
Shit. Too Short was performing at my job the other day. And it was like, okay, we got this other room. You got 2 rooms. We got this other one available. We'll just give you the one that has 2 bedrooms in it. Here. You know what I'm saying? You're performing. You're the reason I'm being paid today. So one of the things I know this is random, you guys, and from what we're just talking about, but one of the things I like about recording on a Sunday is that it gives us all the way up to the last minute to talk about things. And it also shows that you and I were more than just bandwagon anything. We're fans of the game, and we actually analyze the game. We've been saying there must be some pieces set up. Lance Stevenson just agreed to a deal with the Lakers.
Really? Lance Stevenson and LeBron, those two do not really like each other like that.
Or they just respect each other's competition.
It could be, yeah.
Because like when you really look at it, the only person that's been really able to stop LeBron was Kawhi.
Right.
The only person that's really been able to get to LeBron is Lance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to still, and I know the talk with Kawhi right now is Philly, but to bring all those factors in together, those are, amazing players.
And that's Philly this year.
Right.
Kawhi said he wants to be in L.A., and I was looking at his story, like, that's home for him. Like, he's very big on family. So next year, yeah, I can see Kawhi being there next year. But I said that. I honestly thought that Paul George, I knew Kawhi would be traded, but I honestly thought Paul George and LeBron probably signed 1 year somewhere, wait for Kawhi, you know what I mean, and try to do it that way. And they'd still be able to keep their pieces. So to see this, well, we all know Paul George is not coming, but shit, yeah.
So Lance Stevenson.
He agreed to, was it a 1 year?
Let me see exactly what it says. I would assume it's multiple years.
Well, I would hope so. If he, yeah.
But that's what. But it makes sense only because LeBron was probably putting these calls in like, "Hey, bro, I'm going to L.A. I could use some help." He agrees to 1 year, $4.4 million.
Yeah, I would agree to multiple. That's interesting for a year.
Yeah, he did.
But he can also agree if Kawhi does come next year. He can also agree to much more.
Right. Oh, definitely. And Lance ain't no slouch.
No, he's a good player.
He's a solid role player.
Yeah, his behavior be a little bit all over the place, but no, he's a solid role player.
Now, I look at Lance Stevens, I'm not necessarily excited for that kind of player to be on the Lakers because I look at Lance Stevens the same way I look at Draymond Green. I'm not really a fan of their tactics on the right. I'm not really a fan of his tactics on the court. However, I would be lying if I didn't say he wasn't a very good player.
Not only that, he's a good asset, and he's great on D. So that kind of, if they can get Lance to play D on like some of the better players, that gives a chance for LeBron to focus on one thing.
This also makes me happy because that means my Lakers going to be back on TV again.
Yeah, I was just sitting there saying to you earlier, I'm going to have to pay a little $20 a month and get League Pass on, so I'll be able to watch my Cavs.
Actually watch the game. I'm pretty sure there's some sites.
No, the only time we're going to get TV is when we play LeBron.
Y'all should have seen his face when he said that. Like, it's the only time.
That's the only time we're going to get TV is when we play LeBron. I'll be able to see him maybe if I'm watching them play the Clippers only because, we get the Clippers channel order in Vegas. But other than that, those are the only 2 times I expect to see them on TV.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, unless they score real big in this offseason, what the fuck around get Anthony Davis?
That'd be weird, but yeah.
Weirder things have happened.
That is very true. Another thing to tie in what we were talking about earlier as far as our reality, I had to really get off social media because I'm like, my reality started being distorted. Like, I really had to thought, like, wait a minute, Kevin, literally anything can happen. Like, you fixed on stuff that has happened that you have seen on social media, but you really could, now this is completely far-fetched, but you can look up tomorrow and the world be different as you know it. Like, who knows what really can happen. So yeah, that is wild. That is wild. But like you said, it Makes a little bit more sense now. And I'm pretty sure that was probably a minor piece that they added.
Right. He's probably the fact he's 1 year, 4.4 mil.
That lets me know
he's
it's
just
a
like,
minor.
okay, we're now just trying to surround LeBron and give him some trial run niggas.
I think they can still, I think they can still land another big superstar. I don't think it'll be Kawhi. The Spurs very adamant that they're not trying to trade into the West. And they want so much for Kawhi. It makes no sense for the Lakers to give up so many good young core pieces to get a player like Kawhi.
Didn't Julius Randle just say he didn't want to play in LA anymore?
I'm not sure.
I thought I heard something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to, start rumors and shit like that, but I thought I heard something about that earlier today.
But even then, if I'm the Spurs, I'm not trading Julius Randle for Kawhi.
Hell no. What?
I want like 4 other pieces on top of that.
I need 4 other players, and I need one of your picks.
Right. It wouldn't make no sense for the Lakers to do that because that's me personally, I look at the long haul. You know what I mean? I would rather keep my core guys together. And if I can somehow manage to where I get 2 superstars, at least 2 superstars, keep my core guys together and not have to. Yeah.
He's coming off the bench, isn't he?
Who?
Lance Stevenson.
I know in Indiana he started it, but yeah, he would have to come off the bench.
He'd have to come off the bench.
Well, maybe not because you got to look at they got a lot of young guys starting now. He could replace some of those young guys. I think he's a shooting guard or small forward. He could replace.
But so is Ingram, and I don't think they're going to sit Ingram down.
Yeah, over Lance Stevenson, I sit Ingram down.
Really?
Yeah. I sit Ingram down and let him play against as he's trying to develop. Let him play.
You know what? No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I do that.
You're absolutely right because Ingram would actually be very beneficial coming off the bench.
I do that. Hell yeah.
He'll come off the bench and go up against the entire team.
Right. Not only that though, he'll come off the bench and he'll be playing against other bench players. But not only that, he's growing and we get to have that spark.
Right.
Come off the bench. Yeah, I do that. I definitely have him come off the bench.
You think Isaiah's leaving?
That's a good question because him and LeBron do not like each other, did not work. I would not be surprised if they ship him out. I would not be surprised if they'd be like, yeah, he got to go.
So happy this like majority.
You already got Lonzo as your starting point guard, and you got LeBron who likes to pass, so he can be like an off guard default when you need a point guard. Yeah, I ship Isaiah up out of here.
So,
that's the one thing that could come back and bite the Lakers in the ass because, which we have seen, if they do ship Isaiah off, he can have a monster season
anywhere else,
season.
right?
You know what I mean?
And really, if you look at it now, in the starting 5, you now have Isaiah Thomas, Lance Stevenson, and LeBron James. That's the first 3, with Isaiah Thomas coming off the bench and Brandon Ingram coming off the bench. So now you got a solid top 3 in the starting 5. And you have a solid top 2 in the bench. Bro, there's some puzzles.
Yeah, they putting together some
puzzles that's being had right now.
They're definitely putting together some puzzles, and they got about a handful left.
They still got to trade. They still got to
to
sign niggas. Like, yo, there's some
pieces. Yeah.
Something's going on.
But it'd be crazy, and this is why I had to really realize anything can happen because we can look up tomorrow and Brown be like, yeah, I changed my mind.
Seriously, man, I said the exact same thing. I said LeBron could go to that damn announcement and take out a Philly cheesesteak.
Like we said, until he actually comes out and say anything, we don't know. Yeah, it can be reports. That can all change. They're just reports.
Exactly. I just said it to Jay that we saw reports from credible sources that LeBron was staying in Cleveland when he went to Miami. So this could literally be anything.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what it could be? I will say, if LeBron does go out, I want to know what prompted him to do so, opposed to any other teams. Because if I have to leave Cleveland right now, and I'm LeBron James, the only team, and I want to win right away, the only team I'll be trying to go to is Boston.
No, I agree. Especially if you want to conquer the East and get right back to the chip.
Well, just to make it sound like the West, like we talked about, that's an uphill battle. He's going to have to fight.
Right.
If I'm Brian, stay in the East, guarantee making the finals. Let me go to Boston, then we're for sure guaranteed to go to the finals, if not win the finals. Like that's why I want to know what prompted him to say, "Fuck it, I'll go to the Lakers."
Again, Magic is a smart man. Magic probably had the illest rollout. Like I'm telling you, like there's some, and then with you,
he did the Addy Darn rollout. The LeBron.
Yeah, he did what Drake was trying to do. Instead, he just gave him a bar. But there was something that was laid on the table that LeBron was like, "That's sexy. I want to entertain that. I gotta take less money, and I may have to deal with a shittier." I'm going to try to avoid dealing with the shittier team.
Yeah.
You know, then, okay, let's go for it. There was a rollout. There was something that was set up that LeBron saw it and went for it immediately. And now that we're looking at it, he ain't, you know, at this point, we now have 3 out of 5. So it's no longer slouches in the starting 5 unless they end up trading for somebody. Then we got 2 coming off the bench that, you know, are solid. If they all remain. I pray Julius Randle remains, so now you got a solid 3 coming off the bench.
You got
so you're 3 for 3.
Yeah, if you can move your starting guys.
I'm sorry, Julius Randle power forward. I'm tripping.
If you can move your starting guys to that backup role, and they're bona fide starters, and you can have a really good team.
I think if you guarantee him that chip, they'll be cool with taking a backwards row.
Yeah, and for them, they're willing to take the time to get the chip. My only thing is, LeBron, you don't expect to go to the finals this year, do you?
I don't think he does.
Like, it has to be a build because you can't expect to go to the finals.
Unless the puzzle pieces are just that dope, because we just got 2 players over here.
Unless it's something to where, like, DeMarcus Cousins or Anthony Davis is going to sign this year, and then next year we're going to get Kawhi too. But even then, that's to our point. You didn't win that first year,
right?
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And people are going to shit on him for not winning that first year.
I will say though, and this is before anybody knew about the LeBron thing. I will say this will be the first season in a long time for NBA that I'm going to try to watch all teams because this draft class is crazy. Like, I would not be surprised if in 5 years we look up and we're calling this the best draft class ever.
Yeah, this draft class is crazy. We're already seeing some interest, and we can't even say we're seeing a lot of interesting signings. We're just seeing what we've been seeing.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of teams on the dock, and there's still a lot of free agents. You know what I'm saying? That are looking at different ways to one, beat Golden State, and the 2, get the maximum contract. That's what everyone's going for at this point, is that contract.
Yeah, I feel like the NBA right now is Avengers Infinity War, and the Warriors are Thanos. Like I feel like that's what's happening right now, and what we're about to see in the second season is Avengers 4, and them trying to figure this shit out. I think that's what it is.
All the Infinity Ballers. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm gonna be on Laker watch just in case something else drop while we recording. But there was something that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, mine was more the same usual hip hop based conversation.
Of course, yes, sir.
I think being that it's July 1st, we've had 6 months of great music. Excuse me, we've had 6 months of great music.
Absolutely.
With Drake's album being the last one to drop in his first 6 months, which we had the pleasure of listening to. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about it?
It was definitely overly hyped from everything else. That's another reason I'm taking some time off social media, because you lie, you liar, and you worship.
That's for sure. That's for sure. But, like he better put that drop in his own. That's for sure.
But that's the whole thing, man. Like I always have to defend, like, I'm not a Drake hater. I was once a very prominent Drake fan. I used to really, vouch for this nigga. The fact that his music now made me go back and listen to Take Care, like, no, this wasn't too bad of an album. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you end up.
Why do everybody immediately I don't want to say discredit, but they immediately act like Thank Me Later didn't happen. I love Thank Me Later.
I love Thank Me Later. Absolutely.
Like, they immediately jumped to Take Care. And quite frankly, maybe I need to listen to it again. Quite frankly, when Take Care came out, I didn't really care for it outside of like 3 tracks.
But that's how I felt about it. But it's because of, to me, it's in comparison. So, like, when I listen to what Drake has been giving me, I can go back to Take Care and be like, okay, this wasn't that bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how we said the other day with Bush. Like, Bush was a fuck up, but I mean, if we had to get him for one more year, I'd take him. You know what I mean? That's that's kind of how I feel about Take Care. But I feel like it was really overly hyped on the A side. I think I like 2 records. Funny enough, I actually like the record that he mentions his son in for everything but the part that he mentions his son. Like, I just felt like that was it's kind of a hypocritical line to say that I wasn't hiding myself from the world, I was hiding the world from my son.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But you were gonna present him as a rollout for Adidas.
Exactly. So who are you hiding him from?
Exactly.
I think the beats were phenomenal.
The beats were amazing. Absolutely.
40 did his job as far as the beats, but the lyrics were so lackluster and lazy.
Drake has been phoning in his lyrics for some years, and I think this was probably his most, relaxed he's been in the booth in quite some time.
He didn't seem inspired to me.
At all. No, he didn't. He seems more so braggadocious, trying to remind us that he doesn't care.
You know how, like, you got to, which I'm pretty sure that's a majority of people, you got a job that you don't hate, or that you hate, and you're going to it, but you need that bread. That's how I feel like he did this album. Like, he went in there uninspired, like, I really don't want to do this, but I know I got to put something out, and I need that money. That's how I felt listening to this. Like, normally we can catch a good quote or a lyric, or, we can catch anything that be like, oh, okay. With this one, I'm like, nah, this ain't it. As a matter of fact, I think the very first track we listened to, he said something like within the first 30 seconds, and you was like, yeah, that was weak.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of throwaway bars in this album. And I feel like a 25-song, a double disc, whatever you want to call it nowadays in the streaming era, you're going to have throwaways. That's almost a guarantee. But at the same time, at least try.
Yeah.
You could tell he didn't really try. It was just kind of like, oh, let's go ahead and get these bars in.
I wonder, like, the way he did it, I wonder how long did it take for this album to make? Like, was it something that you did relatively quickly and this was just a temperament? Or was it something that you'd been working on for so long that you slowly started to not feel it anymore?
I feel like it probably wasn't a double-sided album at first.
Really?
I think sometime after the Pusha beef, he probably started adding some more elements to it, because after taking the L, he probably was like, I have to do something extravagant. I got to do something very Drake-ish. You know what I'm saying? And you could see that with him saying I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. With that line, like you prolonged the release to address what Pusha T did. So who knows if that was the only track you added?
I will say that I was, and again, maybe I have to do another run through because I wasn't paying attention that deep to the lyrics. But I was surprised that he didn't even like sub Push or take any jab.
He probably did, but you got to think about Drake's subs. They're never really the most blatant subs.
Yeah, but I feel like after this beef, had he taken any subs whatsoever, people would have known who he was talking about.
I'm pretty sure somebody's digging through his lyrics, see who he's talking about right now. Think about his subs towards Kendrick. If you didn't know what was going on, you really wouldn't pick that up as a sub.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think? Who would you like to see Drake collab with
going forward?
Yeah.
I really didn't feel that.
Not necessarily a whole album or anything like that, but just a song.
No, just with a song. But and that's what's weird to me, because Drake is a culture vulture, but not in the bad way. He's keeping up with hip hop culture, so he constantly evolves his sound to ultimately mimic what's hot at the moment.
What's good, yeah, because I heard a lot of Migos flow.
There's a lot of Migos flow. Yeah. Shit, there's some of just these other random niggas he's been
it's true,
linking up with. He got a lot of their flows on the record too. He's like a chameleon right now. So he continues to evolve his sound with people. So it's like, if I want to hear him on something, I want to hear him as him. I don't want to hear Drake as so-and-so. So it has to be another spitter.
I think Chris Brown. I wouldn't mind hearing that. See, I would think.
Yeah, they hate each other, though.
Yeah, I know, but a Drake and Chris Brown record, I think, would be good.
It'd be a good single, but I can't help but feel like Drake's gonna try to sing on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him to.
Right, like one of y'all gotta rap.
Yeah, one of y'all gotta do something. I don't know. As far as the album goes, man, I like you said, it was definitely overly hyped. I honestly don't expect to give it another run through.
Me neither.
I really don't. I'm still bumping Victory Lap, still bumping Cole, still bumping J-Rock. Like, those are my top three.
I'm still bumping Crit.
Those are my top 3 albums so far this year.
That J-Rock album is so raw. I know we talked about it last time. That album is so
that
raw.
Shit is so dope. And I know out of my top 3 albums, J-Rock being it just came out, he would be number 3 on that list. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out if I want to put Victory Lap number 1 and Cold number 2 or vice versa.
For 2018?
For so far in this 6 months.
That's what I'm saying, like, for 2018, basically.
Yeah.
So far. Ooh.
Oh, it's hard.
Crit not in there?
not a huge. I know he can spit, and he's better than a lot of guys, but I'm not a major Crit fan like that.
I'm gonna be real, bro. Crit's in my top 3 albums of the year so far.
Yeah, I did hear his album, and I thought it was dope, but it wasn't an album of the year to me.
Wow. That was an amazing album. But to each his own. That's kind of how, and that's one of the things I've actually mentioned with Crit. It's like you either fuck with him or you just think he's cool.
Yeah,
but
I just
one general consensus that he's not trash.
Yeah, he's definitely not trash. If somebody would say he's trash, I'd be like, you're a goddamn fool.
Like, you're a liar. You know you're right. You're lying.
Yeah, he's definitely not trash.
And one thing I do want to know when it comes down to hip hop is with exactly that, deciding who's trash and who's not. What is the scope of lyricism versus beats versus delivery? Like, how do we decide now who's trash?
You know, that's such a loaded, difficult question. I have no idea. Because the reason I say that is because we're in this age now where traditional and what makes hip-hop isn't a basis of hip-hop anymore.
Right.
For instance, with Drake, we know he does not write his own shit. Now, he might write his own shit now, which is great, but we do know that a lot of the songs that propelled him to who he is now, he did not write.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's difficult, and it's also difficult because you can have somebody in this, I'm going to stay on this, you can use this album. Lyrics were lackluster, but the beats were great. So it's like, if you have an artist who really can't rap, they're good, but they're not the best rapper, you know what I mean? But they got phenomenal production. Are we going to put him at the top of a list as one of the GOATs? You know what I mean? Like that's a loaded, very difficult question. I think in order for us to answer that question accurately and properly, we would have to come up with a guideline or rules that everybody agrees on and then base it off that. But it's so much, it's subjective because music is subjective, but even that, who's the top spitters is subjective because you just mentioned Crit. And again, I agree with you. He's better. He's a much better artist than 90% of the guys out. But you have your feelings on it. I don't feel the same way about Crit.
Right.
Crit's not making my top 10 right now. You know what I mean? So it's very subjective.
He's making the top 10?
Not right now, no. And that's not to his skill. That's to me not being too familiar with him. It could be I could listen to him for a week, listen to everything for a week, and be like, "Nah, that nigga's definitely at the top 10." Who knows? I haven't listened to him enough to be able to put him there.
Right.
So it's a very subjective thing. I had somebody yesterday. I was going back and forth with him a little bit till I realized it was pointless. He was saying that Drake is the GOAT. He's the MJ of our time, and I'm like, you're fucking out your mind if you think that.
One thing I saw, and this just really goes down to the taste. One thing I saw, the taste and the ignorance. Let me add that in there. But somebody had a post, and it was a little white boy on Facebook, but he had a post basically comparing XXXTentacion to Tupac, saying that, I'm not trying to shit on the legacy of Tupac. He was definitely a legend. However, he wasn't a multifaceted artist like XXX. Talking about X's poetry and all this other stuff and how Pac wasn't relatable and all this other stuff. And I look at it and I always wonder, like, what is it about the rappers that we came up with that people automatically discredit what they've done just because they want their rappers recognized? Like, when we came up, we didn't say KRS-One is trash. We didn't say EPMD, we could have missed them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, these cats were the pioneers. That music wasn't for us. But they were pioneers. And again, no one has sat these kids down to be like, okay, this is who you need to be watching, anything like that. But they didn't sit us down. We just knew to naturally have that respect. Right.
To that one, A, dude is a stupid because Pac was a multifaceted artist.
Right.
B, I understand what he meant. And not on a lyrical sense because there's no comparison. But the impact that kid had on the youth now is very similar to the impact that Pac had with us. Right. So by him passing away, yes, that is like these new kids Tupac. Not necessarily in the lyrical sense, but in that impact on how, is very similar. Now, I will say that him, and this is where the subjectiveness comes, him saying that Pac wasn't relatable, he can only go by him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He can't say that the guy down the street, Pac, wasn't relatable to him because he's not the guy down the street. So I think that's more of subjective, but I understand, because I've seen that a lot too. I understand what people mean by when they say that. I don't take it as in a lyrical sense. I don't take it as that at all. I take it as how the impact some of these kids had impact. It's a lot of young kids out there who deal with depression, who deal with a lot of things I guess that kid was talking about, so they can relate to him in different spectrum. So when he did pass away, people were like, damn, this is our Tupac.
And no,
I understand that.
From that aspect, I can understand. Like, I can't relate because I don't get from a lot of these new cats what, you know, the younger cats get, or even some people around our age get. However, I don't understand the disrespect for our people that we hold so near and dear.
What was disrespectful about that?
With the Pac part, I'm trying to remember exactly what else was said dealing with it. Oh, so it was a whole fucking post. Like, he was saying that, you know, Pac wasn't anything special. He was basically rapping the same thing that all niggas around that time was rapping, like kind of taking, you know, in making, you know, his statements invalid, basically making how he made us feel invalid. They're like, I respect him as a legend, but he was nowhere near as important of what XXXTentacion is. The
reason I have no issue with that and I don't find it disrespectful, some of it wrong, like far as what was the middle thing you said? Him rapping about the same thing everybody else was rapping about, that's wrong because he wasn't. Now, excuse me, a good portion of it, yeah, you know what I mean? They was rapping kind of same things, but we have records from Pac like Keep Your Head Up, Brenda's Got Her Baby and stuff. That's other rappers weren't doing that.
Right.
The reason I don't think it's necessarily disrespectful is because everything that he said is subjective.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't
say it's wrong because, you know, we could say these dudes are trash all day and they'll be like, what? No. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a subjective opinion. I just don't understand why, like, us being the older hip-hop listener, we're not even the older hip-hop listener, like we said on the other show. We're not even the OGs yet. But we can get to a point of accepting this just isn't for us. You know what I'm saying? And however this artist makes you feel is how this artist makes you feel. I can have my feelings towards XXXTentacion, but I can't tell his fans how to feel about, you know, what they felt when they heard his music. But they're constantly trying to tell us, no, how you felt wasn't it.
What you got to realize, and I had to realize too, what you have to realize is, A, the era that these kids are in, and B, that they haven't hit the growth that we have hit.
Of course.
When we were probably young at that age, at 1982, you couldn't tell us shit about our favorite artists, and we would do everything in our power to make you see what we see in this favorite artist because we care about that artist so much. They haven't hit that growth yet. We got to look at it. When we were coming up and we had artists that was playing, I don't want to use Pac, but we can use Pac. We had our parents talking about, man, why y'all listen? That's not music.
Oh, my parents ain't never said.
Well, not our parents per se, but the general consensus is and that's what came with a lot of issues with hip hop. Why they were trying to censor it, people felt that was not music.
Right.
You know what I mean? They thought it was inciting negativity. So we got to kind of look at it in that same light. These kids now, granted, what we feel, A, towards them, what they're saying is incorrect, and B, it may or may not be disrespectful. They haven't hit that level that we are currently at. We probably could have been doing a lot of the same thing or saying a lot of the same things about previous artists that they are saying. The only difference is they got social media, so it's magnified.
Right, so
they can send
sees
something
it,
out, and literally millions of people can see it at the same time, or millions of people can see it. That wasn't happening. Was everything was word of the mouth. You know what I mean? So unless your friends knew how you felt about Pac or KRS or whoever it was, nobody else was gonna know. Unless you know what I mean? Like it's just a different era for these kids.
Who'd ever thought we see Kev be the voice of reason? The grimy brown giant.
No, I try to
found his chill.
You know what? And I don't know if this is wrong for me to say. I like kind of being devil's advocate, not for the trolling aspect and the uproar, but I like to try to look at everything from other people's sides.
As do I.
And to get it. It's fun, and not only that, it helps growth within myself. So that's why I try to do it. But
yeah, well, it's just like, you know, when we got to that point where I mentioned on the show, like, I can't even continue to say these dudes are garbage. They're just not for me.
Yeah.
The only issue that I just had, like, them sonically as musicians, I have nothing else to say. If something comes on, I'm like, all right, well, this, this ain't for me.
Who's doing some of the Drake stuff? He was like, you can skip this, and I agree with you.
Like, yeah, you can skip it. I ain't say it was trash or anything. I'm like, yeah, you can skip it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. My thing has always just been respect. You know, if it's one thing that we took away was at least respecting the OGs that, you know, started hip hop or what it is. Like, I just think now that just no longer matters, basically.
When you were, we'll say between 17 and 19, did you respect all the OGs, or were you somewhat afraid of the OGs?
What, musically?
Just in general.
I never feared any of them.
I don't mean like.
And also, I'm kind of a bad example too, because around that time, that was when the crank and the snapping and all that shit got cool, and I wasn't with it. I was still playing old shit.
Yeah, I wasn't with it either. I was saying that to say, like, maybe, just maybe, some of these kids now, it's not necessarily a disrespect thing. They just don't rock with some of the OGs and what they're doing, and that's partially because of them being scared, fearful. You know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with how they go about things now, why there is no respect. You don't respect people that you're afraid of. And I think that's what a lot of these kids, at least magician-wise, are doing. Well, for me, it's not. If I'm a fear of you, I'm not going to respect you. I'm going to do everything in my power to survive, but I'm not going to respect you. You know what I mean? Like I can't respect the bully down the street. You picking on a kid. I can be fearful because I don't want to get my ass beat, but I don't respect you.
Yeah, a lot of people mistake fear for respect. So I can see where you're coming from with that. But a lot of people also use that fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shit. A good amount of people use that fear for respect. They do.
At one point, 50.
50 still doing it. And by the way, Fifth, and if you're a fan of this show, you know how I fucks with Fifth. That shit with Terry Crews is very tasteless.
What did he do? I may have missed that.
He trolled him.
Really?
He trolled. He deleted his Instagram post, but he trolled Terry Crews for about half a day because this is at the time. I don't even know. I guess it had to be a disposition. Terry was talking to like a senator, and they was talking about stuff and about his case. You know what I mean? And Fifth was like, "You that big? You should have beat him." Fifth was really trolling this dude and talking kind of foul. I'm assuming somebody had to tell Fifth like, "No, that's not it," because he deleted all this stuff. When I read it, I was like, "Nah, Fifth, that's not cool. I don't care how big you are. I understand where Terry Crews is coming from. He very well could have beat the shit out of this dude, and then this dude would have been in court fighting to go to jail."
Right, and there's no way to prove that dude grabbed his dick, but he can prove that he whipped his ass.
It's completely a catch-22. Like, and especially when you're a black man of that stature, like you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
He didn't do nothing, so now you get people like Fifth. You a pussy. You shouldn't have did this. I even see regular people in my TL saying that claim they're tough guys. You should have did this. I wouldn't let this happen, and so on and so forth. I would have beat his ass. Cool, and I'm pretty sure you may have will be, but then you be in jail. So. Now you know how they treat us in jail. So now you done lost 10 years of your life because you wanted to be a tough guy and touch a dude to touch your dick. Now you got open dick all through the cell. All through the cell, people gonna be walking by.
Either.
Right,
open dick.
Right,
nigga.
all through the cell, people gonna be walking by like open dick. So really, who's the victor in that situation? You know what I mean? I thought it was fucked up that he was saying all this. Terry Crews, it did come out. You know, the producer for the new Expendables kicked Terry Crews off the show, didn't want him to be a part of that show. But that same abuser or that same person is being investigated for his own
for
stuff.
Another thing, right?
Like Terry Crews said, abusers protect abusers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I salute Terry for even standing up, being a black man, being a buff, muscular black man, being a threatening ex-football black man, to get up on a panel and be like, that dude touched me inappropriately and this is how I feel we should go about it. That says a lot about him as a person, opposed to this dude touched me inappropriately, I'm going to destroy everything.
Right. And I respect him for it too. It's so unfortunate though, because if this does make more men open up, this is just going to heighten the narrative of men acting like bitches. There's the toxic masculinity, and then there's the men acting like bitches.
But it only opens that up to quote unquote street niggas. Because niggas that are in the corporate,
those are niggas that matter. Those are ones that's how they generalize the whole as niggas ain't shit, or niggas that can barely spell their own name.
Right. But in the corporate world, or just in a business conducting world, or people world, you can't go and beat up everybody who Believe me, I've been wanting to.
I've tried.
Exactly. But you can't go and just beat up people because they aren't doing what you want them to do, or they've wronged you in some way. Don't get me wrong, it's easy, but you're only going to get temporary gratification out of doing it. Terry Crews could have beat up dude and it been great. Went home that night like, yeah, that motherfucker better not try me, but the next day his phone ringing up, hey, yo, you're being served.
Yeah, charged, right.
You're being served, you know what I mean? Not only do I have to worry about losing my freedom, all this work I didn't put in this industry is gone.
Right. It's done.
It's gone. Ain't nobody gonna touch me after that. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all I like to say, Fifth, you was kind of foul for that. And I'm tired of you putting out these songs thinking we finna get albums and we don't get no albums. I need some goddamn music.
There's some issues here.
Right, yeah, we got some issues. I don't change the fact that if you can cast me as an extra or something in Power, I'm rocking with it. But yeah, that what he did was tasteless to me.
It's going to be interesting going forward with everything.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
With everything. Big up to the Lake Show one more time. Let's go and get up out of here, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
On Twitter, it's _ Hollywood Kev. And on Instagram, it's Hollywood Kev _ Keep up. I know I've been saying it, but for real, now that we got a little bit of ducks in a row, I'm going to try to be more visual on Instagram and get you guys some content that I think you'll enjoy.
At Big Los IG on IG. You can also follow me on Snapchat, Big Los. And of course, everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. And follow The Noize on the big three: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Noize Podcast. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's The Noize.